So I have some rather depressing news. Our time with Hamlet is almost over. I talked to him today, and he said that we have come to the conclusion of his story. And I'm very saddened by this because that means no more Hamlet. His story will always be with me, and makes me very sad that, it had to end the way it did. But, it is what it is. So, Hamlet had gone on an adventure with some pirates, So after that little adventure, Hamlet and Horatio come upon a gravedigger who just happens to be digging the grave for Ophelia, but Hamlet didn't know that until he saw the funeral procession go into the grave, and he noticed it was Ophelia's, and at this point you're thinking, oh, Hamlet really didn't love Ophelia, but the way Hamlet described it, Hamlet truly did love Ophelia, and I think that, they could have been together. But, here Hamlet and Laertes meet, they're like, ooh, you killed my father. And, oh, but your father, was a horrible man. And so, like, I challenge you to a duel. And I'm like, I accept, I'm quite good at fencing myself. I accept. So they go and have this fencing match. And Laertes wounds Hamlet. So Hamlet's like, oh my lord, I am wounded. And then they scuffle, and then their swords get all mixed up, and Hamlet ends up picking up Laertes' swords, which has poison on it, and so he kills Laertes, and the king and queen are like, bravo, Hamlet, you got Laertes. And the king's like, you want a drink? Because it's poisoned, take a drink, And Hamlet's like, oh, no, not right now, I still have so much more fencing to do. I need to kill Laertes, because he's not dead yet. And the queen's like, I'll drink. So she picks up the cup of wine, and Claudius is like, oh, no, don't drink. Don't take a drink, I promise. You won't like it. And Gertrude's like, well, you know what, I think I will take a drink. Who are you to tell me now? So she takes a drink, and the wine is poisoned. It was Hamlet's wine. It was poisoned. So Hamlet's like, fighting Laertes, and like, how's my mother? Oh, she's doing well. What? And Hamlet looks, and at this point, Gertrude's like, oh, Hamlet, I've been poisoned. The drink, it was poisoned. And Hamlet gets the courage, he's like, you, Doric, you just killed my mother. How dare you kill my mother? So this is like the push Hamlet needed to kill his uncle. So he goes up to his uncle, stabs him with the poisoned sword, and not also that, he makes him drink the remaining wine. So his uncle's like doubled killed, I guess you could say. And, him and Laertes are like, oh, please forgive me, I really didn't hate you that much, please forgive me, before we die. And they forgive each other, and then Hamlet's like, oh, dearest Horatio, I'm dying, I'm going to die. And Horatio's like, well, everyone's dead here in the kingdom, I might as well die. So he wants to kill himself too. Hamlet's like, no, someone must stop, someone must stay here and tell the story, of what happened and why it is that we're all dead, you need to tell the story. And he's like, okay. And as Hamlet dies, here comes Fortinbras, And he's like, I claim Denmark as my own. You know, and as he's doing this, he sees all these dead people, and he's like, dude, what's going on? What happened? You know? And Horatio was all, it's gonna take an explaining to do. So Horatio now is left alone in Denmark to explain all of these actions. I am very saddened that this story is over. And it ended like that. Well, I'm just glad that I got to meet Hamlet and that I got to learn his story. And that, you know, I hope it's shared with the rest of the world. And, you know, I'm also glad that it's done because I can go back to my old life, which is taking away lives, you know. I've got a meeting with a very nice person in Washington. Bye-bye. See you soon. Well, not too soon, right?